through the actual speakers and not through my microphone. Alright, here we go. What have we got? Okay, it was Asker with wings.
Would you mind if I brought some sweets back for Ash?
Greek god Asker. Like, I like Asker, but I don't know, when he shows up, I'm not like super excited. Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
Time for bed.
Offer gratitude.
Alright. That's actually cute.
When everyone's in costume, the differences that make us Legoos or Bay York cease to matter.
Leafy was like one of my original like characters that I used to beat a lot of the game many years ago. Her, the upgraded Nino, not ascended Nino, or not a tuned Nino, but the other special Nino.
Hand over the treats.
And Hot Springs Sakura and Ophelia, those 4 units were like my jam trying to get through stuff. Is that nah?
Is it true that the Harvest Festival is the one day when you can get all the sweets you desire?
An armor. Man, armors just really have to knock it out of the park for me to like them. Twin and save? Is that... No way, is that gonna be both... Is that gonna be both melee and...
Yeah. No treat for you!
Dude, he did no damage to her.
A waste of my time.
You know what I found out? Reagan... Reagan beats the shit out of Felix. The new Reagan.
We are to surprise people? If that is the case...
You should probably refrain from transforming into a dragon here.
Armors. Like, that's the other thing, is that armored harmonic units just, I feel like, don't feel very good.
Trick or treat.
Okay.
This is fun.
That's gonna be pretty powerful. This is definitely a Summoner Duels banner. Like, I haven't even looked at the skills yet, but it's a Summoner Duels banner, I can tell you. And who's our freebie? Some male that nobody wants. Yep, Yarn. Like, I'm so sick of the freebie always being some bloke that no one would ever pull for. It's the way it always is. That's why when a Grand Hero battle or a Tempest Trial that comes out that's like Marnie for example, like you have to jump on it. Alright, so for Ash, sorry, not Ash, for Asker, we have Horn of Harvest. Solar special trigger. Foes within one range cannot move. So he has pass built in. Not pass built in. The opposite of pass built in. Wall. I can't even. The bulwark. I think is what it's called. Built in. For allies within 2 spaces of unit, restores X HP to those allies as their combat begins, and reduces the effect of deep wounds by 50% during combat. If target's defense is greater than foe's defense, X equals 20% of target's max HP, plus the difference of between stats times 4. Otherwise, X equals 20% of target's max HP, max 40% of target's max HP, plus damage dealt to unit as combat begins. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of... regardless, he's going to be able to heal by himself and the allies near him very well. So he effectively becomes, you know, another type of Heirun. It's not Haether. That's the other girl. It's Heirun, I think. If foe initiates combat or a foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75%, start of combat inflicts penalty on foe's attack defense during combat equal to 6 plus the number of allies within 3 spaces of unit times 3, max 15. Reduces the effect of deep wounds by 50% during combat. Deals damage equal to 20% of unit's defense. Reduces damage from foe's attacks by 20% of unit's defense. And restores X HP to unit as unit's combat begins. He's got a lot, man. At start turn, and then the beast transformation skill. Sturdy Beast boosts damage by X% of unit's defense when special triggers. If transformed, X equals 50, otherwise X equals 40. That's stupid. Just make it all one. Like a 10% different. Like, come on. If both of the following conditions are met, reduces damage from foe's next attack by 40% during combat. Unit or foe's special is ready, or unit or foe's special is triggered before or during combat, and unit is transformed, or a unit's defense is greater than foe's defense minus 4. Okay. I mean, is this the first exclusive beast skill we've gotten? Like, this is pretty beefy. No pun intended. Poor Asker. So we have a D bonus doubler, so distant counter bonus doubler, reopening, and then we have connected world. If unit can transform, transformation effects gain if unit is within 2 spaces of any allies from a different title than unit. Wait. If unit can transform, transformation effects gain if unit is within 2 spaces of any ally from a different title than unit as a trigger condition. Hold on, let me work that one out. So, I think what it's saying is that if you have connected world, actually no, I have no clue what that means. I thought maybe he gave it as a buff to other people, but I think this is referring just to Asker. If Asker can transform, transformation effects gain if unit is within 2 spaces of any ally from a different title than unit. So, I just tried to scroll up there. So I think it basically means when you're talking about this down here, if unit transforms, grants attack +2, it deals +7 damage from special triggers, etc. As well as this, if transformed. I think this also applies to if you're just within 2 spaces of another unit from a different title. I think. That's my best guess as to why it is. If defending an Aether raids at the start of enemy turn 1, if conditions for transforming are met, unit transforms. So I'm guessing this is a part of what above meant. I think. Oh man, that's so confusing. Man, that's just a word garbage. Okay. Regardless, he's intended to be an Aether raid tank. At start of turn, and at the start of enemy phase, except for in summoner duels, if unit is within 3 spaces of any allies from a different tile than unit, grants attack defense +6, resonance blades, resonance shields, and reduces damage percentage of foes non-special, reduced damage by X% skills by 50% during combat to unit, and allies within 3 spaces of unit for 1 turn, and also for unit and allies within 3 spaces of unit, if special cooldown count is at its maximum value, grant special cooldown count -1. Okay. If units within 3 spaces have an ally, grants attack defense res +5 to unit, and reduces damage from foes' attacks by 40% during combat, and also if unit's special cooldown count is at its maximum value after combat, grants special cooldown count -1 to unit after combat. For allies within 3 spaces of unit, if special cooldown count is at its maximum value after combat, reduces, grants special cooldown count -1. This is a really nice C skill, especially for a beast unit. There's a lot of special beast properties inside this Asker, but I think overall we can expect him to just be a really, really good tank, especially in Aether raids. He is tanking Camilla there, but Camilla is nowhere near as strong
When
as she
everyone's
was,
in costume,
you know,
the
10
differences that
months
make
ago
us
when she came out.
Lagoos or Bay York cease to matter.
This is my
That way,
favorite
huh?
outfit of the entire thing. My favorite artwork, I should say. I just realized, I think... Is this supposed to be a demo? Did they put the demo in the second spot this time? We'll have to see at the end. I mean, but she's got her own PRF. Hungry Cat Fang. Accelerate special trigger. At start of turn, if special cooldown count is at its maximum value, grant special cooldown count -1 to unit. So, I mean, she technically can have, like, it's basically -2. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than 25%, grants bonus to units attack, speed, defense, res equal to 5, plus the number of foes within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, times 3, max 14. Neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-up attacks and effects that prevent units follow-up attacks, and neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit during combat. And also, when unit special trigger neutralizes foes, reduces damage by X%. Effects from foes' non-special skills during combat. If unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25% at the start of combat, and unit special cooldown count is at its maximum value after combat, grants special cooldown count -1 to unit after combat. And then you have the beast transformation. It has 2/3 skills, which is rare. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, yeah. Normal Canto effect. Yes, so Lethe is a 4-star focus. This is a curveball. They've never done this before, putting it in the second spot. So that kind of threw me off. But, I mean, I could definitely tell that Nav was not a demote. I was not paying attention to the fact that this was our demo here. And this makes me kind of want to pull for her. And this may be the unit that I try to go for.
When everyone's in costume, the differences that make us Lagoos or Bay York cease to matter.
But
that way, huh?
The others, so far, I actually
Is
really
it true that the
dislike
Harvest
this
Festival
art.
is the one day when you can get...
Huge disappointment in this art. I just think the art style is off for Fire Fire Emblem in general. This possibly could be very similar to other like Fire Emblem games, but for Fire Emblem Heroes, whenever I see artwork like this, I'm generally disappointed.
All the sweets you desire?
It's the style that I don't agree with very much. Okay, we have Stone of Delights. She's a green dragon armor, by the way. Stone of Delights, accelerate special trigger. If foe's range equals 2, adaptive damage. At start of turn, a special cooldown count. Grant special cooldown count -1 to unit and any ally with max HP less than unit's max HP. Okay. I can't remember what the skill is. That's one of those. Is that the pulse? Is that infantry pulse? Except for that just is pulse to anyone. So that's actually pretty cool. If units within 3 spaces of an ally, inflicts penalty on foes attack defense res equal to 5 plus the number of allies within 3 spaces of unit times 3 max 14. If unit triggers savior, value is triggered as 14 no matter what. Okay. Unit deals plus X damage and reduces damage from foes' attacks by X during combat. Well, that's awesome. X equals unit's max HP minus foes' HP at start of combat max 16. So she gets like a plus 16 damage and flat damage reduction of 16. That's pretty amazing. Including when dealing damage when special trigger before combat, in which case X is calculated using HP before special triggers. Nice. And also, if foe's attack can trigger foe's special, and unit's res is greater than foe's res plus 5 during combat, inflict special cooldown count +1 on foe before foe's first attack. Damn, this is a really good tanking weapon. If unit was in 3 spaces of an ally, and unit's special cooldown count is at its maximum value after combat, grants special cooldown count -1 to unit after combat. So she has Armored Blaze, Earthfire Boost 3. We have a new dragon ability, Dragon Scales. If foe initiates combat or unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25% at the start of combat, inflicts attack defense res minus X on foe. X equals 4 plus the greater of the difference between the defense stats or the difference between res stats. Unit's defense and res minus the foe's defense and res, max 11. If either of the unit's stats is less than the foe's stat, difference is treated as 0. Okay. Unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, grants special cooldown count -1 to unit before foe's first attack, and reduces damage. Reduce the percentage of the foe's non-special reduced damage by X% skills by 50% during combat. Okay. Nice. When I see stuff like this, like I always feel like it's going to end up being more impressive on like a tanky infantry dragon as opposed to a savior. An armored dragon. So now we have DR Twin and Save, which is our first tier 4 save skill. So if foe with range equals 1 initiates combat against ally within 2 spaces of unit, triggers savior on unit. If foe's range equals 1, grants defense and res +4 to unit during combat, and during combat, any reduces damage by X% effect that can be triggered only once per combat by unit's equipped special skill can be triggered up to twice per combat. If foe's range equals 1, grants defense and res to unit during combat. Any reduces damage by X% effect that can be triggered only once per combat by the unit's equipped special skill can be triggered up to twice per combat. Okay. I think I understand now. So generally, So this right here, and on Armored Blaze, this damage reduction of once per combat is eliminated with this special savior skill, and it's now twice per combat, which increases the tanking viability greatly. This unit, if I'm correct, should have a very easy time. Well, it's not a far savior, but I was gonna say this unit would have an easy time with Bernadetta, at least from what I'm seeing. So, triggers Savior, grants defense and res +4. Any reduced damage by X effect that can be triggered only once per combat by units equipped special kills can be triggered twice per combat. And it will restore 7 HP to unit when unit deals damage to foe during combat. So, this always cracks me up. Restores 7 HP to unit when unit deals damage. Triggers even if 0 damage is dealt. So this would be no damage. But whatever. That's busted. This is like the new line of the most busted tanks in the game.
No treat for you!
A waste of my time.
As you can see, she's completely clowning this guy.
We are to surprise people? If that is the case...
You should probably refrain from transforming into a dragon here.
Alright, let's see how busted this is. So it has effectiveness against dragons. Accelerate special trigger. Cooldown count -1. The ability is called Opposing Stones. It neutralizes effective against armor bonuses. Let's see, that's Idun's ability, and then the effective against dragon foes, I think, is Naga's ability, if I remember correctly. And then we have defense. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of it now. Hexblade effect, adaptive damage. That's what I was looking for. The unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. Reduces damage from area effect specials by 80%. Just that's what it does. Period. Grants weapon triangle advantage against colorless foes, and inflicts weapon triangle disadvantage on colorless foes during combat. So that's also, I think, part of Naga's kit. At start of turn, if unit's special cooldown sets maximum value, grant special cooldown count -1 to unit. By the way, I really like... I don't know if they just, like, whoever was typing this out did it this way, but I kind of like how it's all, you know, it's all separated. Each effect is separated. Normally they just squish it all together and make us read through all of it, but I like this better. Like, we've already given up on trying to fit it all on one page. So, I think this is better. At start of turn, if unit special cooldown count sets maximum value, grant special cooldown count -1 unit. If foes initiates combat or foes HP is greater than 25%, at start of combat, inflicts penalty on foes attack defense res equal to 5 plus the number of allies within 3 spaces of unit times 3, max 14. If Savior is triggered, value is treated as 14. It reduces damage from foes attacks by 20% of units res. And after combat, restores 7 HP to unit. And also, if unit special cooldown count is at its maximum value, grant special cooldown count -1 to unit. Okay. Grants attack defense res +4 to allies within 3 spaces during combat, and restores 7 HP to those allies after their combat. Man, it's like, it's got everything. It's a great tanking weapon, and it's a great support weapon. So we have Dragon's Roar. Attack res Scowl 4. We have Dragon's Scales. Is this the same as what we had earlier? Yes. So we've already read through this. But they gave the exact same thing. Dragon Scales to... I didn't even check to see who's... Okay, Nagi is the one... Is the poster child, not Idun. Because Idun technically already has her own duo. And then we have Attack Res Twin Far Save. And... Let's see... It is the exact same as the other one. It is just for far save and res. So in this one, you will get the savior on unit. If it is range equals 2, you'll get attack and res instead of attack and defense. It reduces damage by X% effect, can be used twice during combat, and you'll restore 7 HP to unit when unit deals damage during combat. I think they just flat out... I mean, a lot of people said last month with the Ice Tribe that Fjorm was the beginning of the return of saviors. This seals the deal. Now we're gonna have super tank meta all the time, which means you better bust out your tank busters.
Trick or treat.
I want to point out something though. Just be careful. This unit's still a blue, well, it's a blue unit. But she still managed to do a lot.
Trick or treat.
So I don't know how highly I would rate her defensive ability.
This is fun.
And then we have, oh, and we can see her stats here. 70 with a buff. So that's probably, what, 64? 43 and 46 res. So, what, 37 defense? 40 res, maybe? And 17 speed. Okay. For unit and allies within the same titles as unit, grants attack res plus 6, resonant shields, and neutralizes effective against dragon bonuses and warp bubble for 1 turn. Neutralizes any penalty and restores 30 HP. Just keep giving everything away. You know, neutralizing warp bubble, giving warp bubble to everyone from the same title for 1 turn. I mean, that effectively shuts down all the movement that people. That actually is devastating. I'm going to be on record here saying that this Harmonized skill might be one of the most busted ones, if not the most busted one ever. Giving Warp Bubble to everyone, that's going to shut down a lot of people. I think there's so much warping in the game now that I think
A surprise.
it'll surprise people how much their mobility is limited. It also brings up the stocks of Felix's C skill, that newer, like, 3-turn movement. And then we get Yarn as a Tempest Trial reward. I have to say, I'm partially glad that I'm not excited for any of these characters. Disappointed in Na's art. However, both Nagi and Na are going to be absolutely busted tanks. Not to mention Asker in his own right. So, I think this is definitely a meta banner for people to pull on. Like, a super, super meta banner for people to pull on. This probably will be the most interest that any of the Savior skills have seen since that Valentine banner that came out so long ago that introduced save skills a long time ago. So, I think these 2 dragons, along with Myrrh and probably Fjorm, are now, like, way above and beyond the best tanks in the game. And I think all of our units from here on out are going to be focused on trying to deal with them. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have some hyper-offensive units coming out in next month's. Are they still doing ninjas? I can't remember. Whatever they may do for the, I think they are still doing ninja. I can't remember. Whatever they do for the banner that comes out next month, the special banner, I have a feeling that those will be all hyper offensive focused, and they'll be able to shred through these defenses pretty well. So we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. I'm not excited for any of these units, but that is entirely because I don't like armor units, and I'm also not a fan of beast units. So, and the art isn't my style, so that's it has nothing to do with meta. Every single one of these units is going to be beyond meta. Well, except maybe Lethe. So get out there, and I would definitely pull for them. If you have the orbs to do so. I know a lot of people are still pulling on Sigurd. I am too. You know, but this is definitely worth it. So good luck on your pulls out there, and hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Neptork out. See you guys.